Growing grapes in the Northland has always been a little iffy, but tonight we take you to a vineyard in Carlton County where they successfully grow tons of different types of the fruit of the vine for use in their private winery. That's straight ahead on this edition of Great Gardening.
Every tree has a moment when it shines.
That's called moneywort or creeping Jenny.
You can go in and do a rejuvenating pruning.
Forage and feed for our native pollinator population.
A garden really gives you peace of mind.
Hello and welcome to Great Gardening. I'm Pamela Fish. Northern Minnesota has never been known as wine country. Growing conditions aren't prime for the main ingredient, grapes. But today there are more and more varieties of hardy grapes and some grape growing techniques that are changing that. We're going to talk more about that in just a bit. But back on the set with us, our gardening experts on hand to share their wealth of knowledge. Tom Casper is a local garden professional and Bob Olin, horticulturist and educator. I know you guys have had some experience growing grapes, but what about your experience with wine? Or don't you want to talk about that?
I don't remember any experiences with wine.
Have you ever made wine?
You know, personally I've not, no.
Okay,
so,
I haven't either. And this, of course, at a winery like this, it's a completely different situation than the kit wines, but it's going to be fun to see how they do it.
This is fun. They've done a very nice job, yes.
Yeah, we'll see how they grow the grapes, rather. We're not going to see much about the wine, but I hear it's a good product. Okay, so we also want to welcome with us our phone volunteers this week, the Carlton County Master Gardeners. They're at the ready to answer your garden questions. Let's look at this week's signs of the seasons now. Ted Pellman was out yesterday, and boy, it's been beautiful. Things have just been popping out all over, so we're going to take a look at the video of some apple blossoms, gorgeous bleeding hearts. We also have, we lost our picture there. But as we know, the season is underway. Things are blooming. You mentioned driving up the hill and all the trees in bloom.
You know, all of the crab apples, and some of these are varieties that go back many, many years. Radiant and Red Splendor, you know, they're the old standbys that just make the landscapes look gorgeous right now. Yeah. And you know, it's kind of fleeting. You really have to just stand there and absorb it all for a little while because it's only here for
it is such a short time.
Few days, yes.
Yeah.
But the great thing is as those fade, then other things come into bloom and things. So it might be fleeting for those, of course, but other stuff is coming and our season is upon us. So.
Right. Well, we're going to take just a few questions before we get into our information about grapes, but some questions, as you know, come with pictures. And we have one from Joy in Ironwood, Michigan, who has a shrub with these lovely yellow spring blooms. She says it smells wonderful, but she doesn't know what it is. Do you guys have any idea about that?
It looks like a golden chain tree. Now, further east of Ironwood, Michigan, it's probably right on the edge of the border of this being hardy, even as a shrub, let alone a tree. And so it looks like a golden chain. More than likely growing as, in our region, if folks want to try it, probably growing as a non-hardy shrub. That if you did want to try it, it'd be right down by the lake. Of course, Ironwood, Michigan has that lake effect too, where you have a little warmer winter climate. So
pretty flowers, and does it get very big?
Well, as east of here in the eastern United States, it will turn into a tree, a 40-foot tree. But,
oh, wow.
In our region or in those regions, it might be a 4 or 5 foot shrub at the most. So.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. Let's take some questions that we happen to have held over from last week because we're not sure if the phones are ringing yet, but we hope you guys are calling in. Alona from Hermantown, what's a good fertilizer for peonies?
Well, peonies, you know, a good balanced fertilizer. Just a rule of thumb, typically our soils are deficient in potassium, so she wants to make sure that she has enough potassium. A lawn fertilizer actually would probably do a pretty good job, only in the spring of the year up until about the 4th of July, and then a little fertility. They're not real heavy feeders, but some nitrogen and some potassium are going to be the critical components there.
Tom, is that what you've put on yours?
Yeah, as Bob mentioned, a balance, and really a lot of times I don't even fertilize them, as
Okay.
Bob had mentioned. They really don't require a lot, and you can in some cases actually over fertilize them or fertilize them out of bloom. So
Okay.
again,
Something to watch
if
out
she
for.
does do it, very, very light. So
Sure. Okay. Diane in Duluth wants to know what's the best time to prune a mugo pine. Am I saying that right?
Mugo.
Mugo pine to achieve a bonsai effect. Now, this came in last week when we were talking about pines and pruning pines.
Yeah, I think that they're not going to be real good for bonsai material for the most part. A lot of people like to keep them compact. I think the best thing to do is there are some compact forms when you're selecting them. Mugo, which is kind of an unusual name, but nonetheless, that is the compact form of
You're
Mugo
not
pine.
stuttering. It's just-
Not repeating myself.
Okay, you're not repeating
But
yourself.
just annual pruning, I think, on those candles, I think that's the important thing.
And if she's talking about trying to create some sort of shape with it, certainly going in and removing full branches pretty much any time she wants. And there's some folks around town that have done that with their mugo pines and gotten some interesting shapes. So going in and removing entire branches, there really isn't a bad time to do that as far as where it will negatively impact the shrub or small trees. So.
And it's good for pruning, right? For shaping.
It prunes up pretty well. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that pruning annually to keep them a little bit more compact. Otherwise, they do get a little bit leggy, and I think that they should be pruned annually.
Okay, great. Jim from Woodland in Duluth is wondering, he has miscanthus grass, am I saying that right? And echinacea, that's another one I have a hard time with. Echinacea, and it's still dormant. This was a week ago. Wondering if there's still hope of it coming up.
Well, depending on where he's at, if it were on a north-facing slope or something like that where it's in a heavy shade, still potentially could. Now, this call was from a week ago.
Right.
Now, if Jim's watching today and it's not up, with the warm weather we've had and the rain we've had, it's probably time to be shopping for replacement plants.
replacements.
Now, both are fairly hardy, but as we've talked about before, even though the winter was very mild, it was hard on a lot of plant material, and it was probably the fact that we had such a long, prolonged, warm fall, and then suddenly we fell off a cliff, so they didn't really have an opportunity to acclimate. So we saw much more winter damage than we would have expected.
Yeah.
There's so many different kinds of coneflowers, echinacea. Would it matter what kind it is?
Sure.
Okay.
A lot of those new varieties, all those specialty colors, seem to be in our region a little less hardy than the old standard white or purple are probably the two most, the hardiest that we can find for us here. So.
Okay. Well, we hope they come up for you. Sandy from Duluth is wondering, have Bob or Tom ever used a flame weeder?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, actually they're pretty effective, but
Okay.
again, you're burning the tops of the weeds off, so you're generally not damaging the root system, so you're going to get a pretty significant resprout. So it's one of these things you have to reapply or reburn several times before you have a lot of effect
It's
on
like
it.
a blowtorch.
It's like a
is,
blowtorch.
yeah.
Yeah.
20-pound propane tank. You can get it with a little cart, pull it around, and flame things. Now, you want to make sure when you're doing this that you're only doing it in areas that also don't catch on fire. So if you're burning weeds in your wood chips in your flower bed, not a good
great
idea. But if it's rocks or sidewalk or things like that, they're okay for that.
Okay.
I agree. They've been used when we looked for renovating strawberries as an example, where we really wanted to avoid the use of any type of chemicals for controlling the weeds and other things. They were used quite extensively, but there's a little risk that goes with it, and you're just going to burn the tops off, so you still got some regrowth that's going to occur.
Sandy also asked about creeping Charlie with that, and I don't know if she wants to know if she should burn it, but would it work?
That, and it'll take all the grass with it, perhaps, so you got to be a little careful.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's the best control for creeping Charlie. There are other ways of controlling it that work a little better, a little safer.
So you say, but we keep getting the questions about creeping Charlie.
And if you get one, the neighborhood kids love you.
Lots of fun there.
Yeah.
They love watching you burn things. Okay.
Pyromaniacs in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. All right, we're going to move on to our tour of a regional vineyard and winery where research, experimentation, and diligence has turned a hobby into a full-fledged business.
My name is Terry Hagemeyer, and this is my wife Cheryl. And you are in Blackhoof Vineyards in Blackhoof Township, Minnesota. And you're out to see our vineyard this morning.
So welcome to the vineyard.
We have about 6 acres of vines, and that's about 3,300 vines all total, 10 different varieties. Half of them are still experimental. And so these are all a part of what's called cold hardy. Means that they can take cold winter temperatures, some down as far as 40 below, and yet can get harvested in the month of September before frost and produce some very nice grapes. These are all wine grapes except for one variety, which is a table grape.
It's Somerset seedless. It's as sweet as can be.
There are about 400 vineyards in Minnesota right now. I would say most of them are south of the Twin Cities. We do not have a grape vineyard closer than maybe Pine City would be the closest one to us. We started planting the first vines in about 09 and 10. And it takes 2 or 3 years in a normal environment to get them established. Up here it'll probably take you another year or two if you don't have any setbacks with severe winters. After a period of time you have enough root structure that does not die off. You get suckers that come up, and if you'll just grow those back, you can reproduce your whole vineyard growth again. Grapevines typically maybe 25 years average life on them, and we wanted to see if you could grow them in northern Minnesota, and you sure can. It is strictly because of the birds. To initially plant a vineyard, you're going to need some sort of irrigation system in it. We now will probably take the drip irrigation out because the roots now are deep enough, the plants are okay on their own. Part of the reason we're taking them out is because all the birds will sit on the water line and reach up and clean the clusters, eat the grapes.
Yes, we've seen them. We've watched them. People are kind of familiar with Marquette, the grape, because that's the one that is developed here by the University of Minnesota, and the wineries in southern Minnesota make wine out of Marquette. It's totally different than a wine kit or winemaking anywhere else because you're dealing with cold hardy grapes which are high in acid. We take off all the leaves that are around the grapes to expose them to the sun, and so the wind can get through there to help prevent the mildews.
Well, you want all this stuff out of there if you can. Trying to leaf prune to try and get some exposure. You try and grow smaller grapes because a smaller grape will get mature quicker. As soon as the harvest is over, we'll take the nets off, of course. I'll then put about a ton of potash, broadcast potash down, just to help the plant get healthy. That helps the plant harden off.
When we originally planted, we didn't intend to plant all these, and we didn't intend to make wine.
Yeah.
But it just kind of grew into that.
So we just thought this would be something fun to do in retirement.
That's beautiful, and
Wow.
apparently they're having fun, but it looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, it doesn't look like retirement. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And again,
Great job.
the same thing we talked about last week, that this show is giving people that opportunity to see things that we don't even know as gardeners and as residents who live in this area, things like this that are happening around us. So.
And it's great for them to share their experience and their knowledge. There's more about the grapes they're growing. You'll find 9 different varieties listed. Also information about the wines on the Blackhoof Estate Winery website. They also have a Facebook page, and you'll find a link to both of those sites on our Great Gardening webpage.
So, Pam, have you tried the wine?
I have not tried the wine, but I hear they're selling it locally in various liquor stores, and I'm going to have to give it a try. Yeah. All right.
Congratulations to
Yes.
him. I think it just points out if you get the right conditions and the right varieties and really do your homework, you can be successful.
Sure.
We should caution most people this far north that you have to be very careful with soils and exposure, and notice everything was on the hillside, early frosts and heat accumulation. So there are a lot of reasons why it hasn't been wine country, but it's just great to know that you can in fact successfully grow good quality wine grapes in the area.
And let's take a look at some of the ones that are typically successful here, the hardiest ones.
Yeah, now these aren't wine grapes, but they are great grapes, and most of them have got our native grape bred into them. And 3 of them here, Beta, King of the North, and Valiant. It's kind of interesting. Beta was, and they're all old introductions. Beta was University of Minnesota, King of the North, University of Wisconsin, and Valiant, University of South Dakota. So we have equal time for everyone, and you're not going to go wrong with those. Those are really good hardy varieties. Valiant is perhaps the hardiest of the bunch. Table grape, again, Bluebell. These aren't wine grapes, but many people actually will make wine out of them. As well as including Beta, which was used for a state fair winning wine several years ago by one of our local residents. Then everything else I think really does need winter protection. Most of these are the University of Minnesota introductions. There's Marquette that was referred to a little bit earlier. Frontenac Gris, the white, and La Crescent as well. So we've got good hardy varieties. So that's the first thing to be successful growing wine grapes. Start with a hardy variety, and then we've got to get that heat accumulation so we get some sugars up as well.
Okay, great information. Thanks so much. And we're going to ask you for more because we have questions. So we're
Okay.
going to take those and see if we can get some other information out there. Leanne in Lakewood says she has little white flowered weeds, some are blue, that are growing in her lawn. Any idea what they are and how to get rid of them?
There are a number of them right now that
Yeah.
are causing some problems out there, but some are blue. Well, we got the creeping Charlie that's out there, and a couple of others that just
But the white ones we've talked about before,
Yes.
are those the pussy toes or something
pussy
like that?
toes
Is that what they-
probably is what she's
Yeah,
she's dealing with there, I assume.
Okay, okay. Judy in Duluth has a question about pepper and eggplant. Her son has had plants in the garden for several days, and after work today they were black, but the other plants are okay.
We really haven't had cool enough
No.
temperatures to cause that either.
Wow.
That's a little bit unusual. I'm not sure exactly. We'd have to
Okay.
maybe get her on the line and ask her a few more questions to figure out what really is going on there.
Yeah, that's too bad. Sorry to hear that. Judith in Island Lake has an old grapevine, and let's see, popular tree, evergreen trees. How far? Oh, it's into the tree. So how
Okay,
far back
okay.
can I cut it?
Oh, and those, they can be pruned back pretty hard. People have to be aware that they are climbers. So here they found a tree, so they didn't need to stake it or anything else. So that if it's one of the old varieties like Beta and so forth, it probably is. They can be pruned back very hard. But you want to prune those while they're still dormant before they've really budded. So that's
Sure.
going to be a late March, April kind of activity.
Okay.
And by pruning it back very hard, you can probably take it back to 4 feet, 5 feet. So if they're worried about it getting into the tree this fall or dead of winter, go in and cut that out before bud break next spring, and should be fine. So.
Okay. Kathy in Kettle River is wondering how much lime should I put on my Mardigan lilies planted in slightly acidic soil? So have you grown those kind of lilies, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really, that's kind of a question that's hard to answer.
It is.
If it's slightly acidic, even just a little bit of lime is going to have an impact. And certainly if she's worried about getting it down quickly, she can put some faster acting lime and then also some slower to drive that down. But really without knowing the pH or the size of the garden, it's really hard to recommend an amount to apply.
And soils also have the ability to adjust. They have a buffer index, so it might not be a bad idea to take a soil test in this case. That'll give her both the actual acidity, because we don't know if she's talking about pH of 4.5 or 6.5. Both are acidic. And it'll also give her an idea of how much lime is really needed, depending upon the soil chemistry involved.
Okay, great. We'll get back to more questions in a bit. But now we want to move on to a garden in Hibbing, Minnesota, where the evolving landscape has become something of a neighborhood hub.
My name's Lee Iverson, and I'm in Hibbing, Minnesota, and welcome to my gardens. I started small. I started with a strip along the garage here, and it just grew and grew. Well, gardens do that. They're always changing, and that's one of the things I love about gardening is it's never the same, even if you want it to be. The phlox, you can see those white David phlox. It's over there, it's over here. I started with just a little couple of pieces of phlox that I got from a friend. So the pink phlox comes, the white phlox comes and goes. The rudbeckia, of course, is such a staple in northern Minnesota. Love the rudbeckia, and it turns up everywhere, and I let it go. That's a ligularia. That is a gooseneck ligularia. See how the bloom actually looks like the gentle bend of a gooseneck? So the pergola has turned out to be a center point of the garden. I spend a lot of time on the pergola, on the deck, reading or playing on my iPad or just looking at the gardens. It's a great way to relax, and it's opened up my house. It's like another room of your house in the summertime. We eat out here, we just hang out. That is Virginia creeper. It's known by many names, and it grows wild in the woods. So I've got one plant of it, and the idea was for it to create shade, and it took quite a while to get it to this point. But it's there now, and it's great. It'll turn a pretty red. You can see it's already doing that. It's getting to be that time of year. It turns a pretty red in the fall, and it does have berries. So yeah, it pretty much takes care of itself. So this is porcupine grass. I have 2 pots of the porcupine grass. And the thing about porcupine grass is it's zone 4. And so what I do is I bury it in a dirt pile, take it out of the pot. Sometimes I slice the roots off and bury it bare rooted in a dirt pile out back, and then dig it up again in April. These poppies were a total mistake. One day these started growing in here. I had no idea what they were or where they came from. And look what they've become. But it's great, they just keep reseeding themselves. Yeah. I've had them for probably 3 or 4 years. Great color, huh? Mm-hmm. And the bachelor buttons reseed themselves. The garage, I do the petunias every year. They're always so much fun. My husband built the window box and the little shutters. And we had wrens this year, which was fun. So I like the birds. So I started in my backyard, and as it progressed, and I wanted more and I wanted more. And that was really a big deal for me. And eventually I got the gumption to do the front yard garden. And the community that came out of that was very cool. The neighbors walk by, they compliment me, they ask me questions. I like to look out the front window and see who's stopped out there. Sometimes kids are picking flowers. I almost feel like I'm doing a community service with my front yard gardens. Not only does it improve the neighborhood, but gardens make good neighbors. We get together, we talk, and next thing you know, I know my neighbors. So often in these times, we sit and watch a screen to be outside and to share your garden, and it's really nice. The gardens take on their own life.
I love what she says about communities and forming communities through gardens. People see your garden and they want to talk about it. So
they do.
Cool.
She had a lot of beautiful gardens, but also had a few pointers there where, in fact, she was growing things that weren't dependably hardy, but she got them in pots and containers, would move them, would protect them. So we really can do a lot with materials as long as we don't try to push it too hard, and we protect things when it's needed.
Yeah,
okay.
and really accepting the environment we live in.
That's right.
And creating beauty just within it. So she's done a wonderful job.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, a few more. We have time for a few more questions. Barb in Moose Lake says their lilacs aren't blooming as heavily as before, and is wondering if lime would be a good addition to a regular 10-10-10 fertilizer.
You know, it's funny how lime seems to be this miracle potion when it really isn't, unless you're growing alfalfa, it's really not essential. And I don't think that's the issue. I think, we got to look at basically good growth, full sun. When and if she's pruning, that that type of thing. There can be a number of things that can cause reduced bloom. But you'd be better off making sure that she has the potassium in the soil and not being so concerned about the lime component.
All right, couple more peony questions coming in. Karen from Cromwell has white powder on the leaves. What can she do about it?
Well,
Is it powder
it seems really early for powdery mildew.
Oh, okay.
But botrytis is really the big problem, and it can start out looking with some white, and then it will go to a black surface on the leaves. What you'll want to do, if that's what she has, is go in and remove that entire leaf, dispose of off-site, unless she has a very hot compost bin in her garden or in her area. But more than likely, she's dealing with botrytis, cleaning it up now, removing that entire leaf, and getting rid of it off-site.
And then Mary from the town of Duluth has a fern leaf peony about 10 years old, and this year half of the bush looks okay. Half is looks deformed, small, has buds and leaves that are green, but it's not looking right.
Again, what we talked about earlier, seeing a lot of damage, even though we didn't have a real cold winter, without that snow cover and the opportunity for things to harden off properly. Last fall, we're seeing some damage to especially things like that that are a little bit more marginal. So,
darn it, we're out of time. I'm going to have to move on, but next week we're going to talk about spotted winged Drosophila because people are getting those bugs in their raspberries, and we get those questions, and we've talked about it, but we got to cover that again one more time next week. Okay, but we want to share a photo that came in from Karen in Hibbing. Crabapple tree in full bloom right now, and Karen says it's a very old tree that was heavily pruned last year, and obviously that helped. We also have a plant sale coming up this weekend. Bob, tell us real quickly about that.
Yeah, the St. Louis County Master Gardeners have their annual plant sale, and if you hadn't had the opportunity yet to get materials in, they're going to have a tremendous amount of perennial material there, and the nice thing is plants are all going to be grouped together, and you can talk to the individual Master Gardeners about that specific type of plant material and how you can make it really thrive in your landscape. So great opportunities, 8 to noon at St. Louis Church, which is right up in Piedmont.
We also want to remind people there are beautiful flowers like this. You can go to our website for a lot of information about events and stuff, but we want to show you these flowers on the set and remind you that the greenhouses and garden centers are open. They have a lot to offer, and it's only June 1st, so get out there and take advantage of some of these, including something like this one on the end here, Tom, the nicotine plant.
Yeah, Nicotiana or Nicotina, wonderful in the garden, certainly interesting, old, been around a long time, and a great organic control for pests in the garden, too.
All right. Thanks, you guys, for a lot of great information. Really appreciate it. Thanks to our phone volunteers. And also, we want to thank all of you who tuned in and watched our show. From all of us here at Great Gardening, enjoy the garden.